All right.
All right, everyone, we're going to start with questions. First off, we're going to do Anthony Dasher and then Lance McCurley.
Hey, Coach. I know when you talked yesterday, I know before that too, you talked about having no idea what to expect, going into this first game. And now that you got one under your belt, what about tonight's game maybe surprised you the most?
I liked our start, and I don't think there's any question about that. They were excellent this morning at our walkthrough. Everybody was energized and ready to play. And certainly there was apprehension even yesterday. Were we doing this for nothing again, in the sense of were we actually going to play today? I don't mean for nothing, but in the sense of playing a game. And they were ready to go. They were excited to play. And we tried to play a lot of people, which was something that I really wanted to do. And but it quickly became a game with, okay, who's going to be able to make some defensive stops by guarding their man? Where is our help defense going to get better, and who can help make it get better? Who can be on the glass? I wasn't as concerned about the offense today, because I knew if we got stops, we were going to get out and run. And there were too many times, and this is just going to have to work out through experience, we were too slow against their press, first half and second half, where we just didn't absolutely attack it the way that we wanted to. And then there were too many times that we didn't stay behind the defense, because they really, really lifted up. And Ty Fagan obviously knew what he was doing in that area of getting back and cutting. And the other guys, now that they have this game experience and they continue to see it, they'll get used to it too. But to me, I thought there were a lot of positives. I thought we beat a team that was very, very comfortable playing college basketball. Maybe they weren't as much when they lost on the road the other night, but tonight they were. Today they were. And Robert's an excellent coach. He's been an excellent coach for a long time. We competed against each other in Conference USA when he was at South Florida and I was at Marquette. So I knew he was going to come in. And I'm glad that we worked, even though we didn't attack it real well, I'm glad that we worked on their zone press to zone, because we really felt that would be something that once they saw our speed, that we would get a real dose of that. And so it gives us something to really study now, instead of watching last year's film or watching, other guys that we've had over a period of time. Now we get to watch ourselves. And I think that'll be very beneficial for them.
Coach, give me your evaluation of Severe's first double-double of the season. And just at times he looked like a floor general out there, wheeling and dealing. And do you expect that from him for the rest of the season?
Absolutely. I mean, he and I are starting to think a lot more alike. He had some ideas today inside of the game that he may not have had a year ago, in the sense of looking at actions that would work and where we could put certain people. And I think that's a growth thing for him. He really, really wants to be a leader. He really, really wants to be a floor general. And at the same time, he's incredibly fast. He played far more minutes than I would have liked to have had happen in knowing that we've got a game Wednesday and Friday. But to me, it is what it is. We got to win the game. And there was no, as much as you'd like to go in, and the only thing I really wanted to do was play everybody. And I played Jackson Nutter late, and I didn't take him out for any other reason other than they were fouling, and I didn't want to put a kid that hadn't shot the ball automatically at the foul line in that situation. So that's why I went back with PJ. But we've got to become a team that's got strength in numbers. And at the end of the day, if you want to play, you got to keep up with Severe's speed, and you got to keep up with his ability to find you. Ty Fagan is a great example of that tonight with 21 and how much cutting and work he did there. So I love what Severe's about. I love how he's getting better. I love the leadership. And I also know that I love the fact that he can improve a lot right now.
Okay, up next, we're going to go with Andy Walsh and then Mike Griffith.
Hey, Coach. I guess just a big part of the offense is pushing the pace. How did you like the pace for the first game of the season after such a long hiatus, especially with all the new guys?
Oh, it's got to get faster. There's no doubt. We're going to see zone pressure all year. Once people see the speed, we're going to see press. And I thought, we learned a lot. They came after Severe in the ball screen, and I probably should have started slipping the screens, ghosting the screens earlier than what we did. But I don't ever get fearful that he's not going to be able to make a play out of a trap. And so they did some things to slow our pace down. That's why we've got to be really, really good defensively. And the fact that they made shots and they were able to set their press, it's always going to be a little harder to get your speed game going in that, but we've got to learn how to.
Yeah, Coach. Just want to ask about PJ Horn. I know early on talked a lot about that he'd be big in the offense. I know today wasn't necessarily his game. Can you talk about just matchups and how things work out sometimes?
Yeah, I think he was like a lot of guys. He was pressing a little bit, and that if that first three goes down early, it's another story. But it's different, right? And we've got him guarding on the perimeter more and things like that. But I reminded him at a timeout. I said, "You played the 31 games last year. You're guarding Vernon Carey last year and everybody else that was in that league." I said, "Just relax and play." But they didn't really have anybody like that. So he's got to get better guarding on the perimeter. And he's going to be a driver for us. He's going to be a guy that's going to post and get fouled. But when he lines it up and he steps into his shot, I thought he rushed his shot a couple of times early. He's going to be a big factor for us. He changes the energy level of the team when he's making threes.
All right, up next, we're going to do Chip Towers and then Jed May.
Yeah, Coach, obviously a double-double from
Did any of you people come to the game today? I mean, did anybody come? Everybody's home. What is this?
Sunday too.
You guys are going to have, like, you're going to have certain amount of actual games attended, and we'll go in the rankings of that. I'm kidding. Do what you got to do. Do what you got to do.
No, but, a couple of doubles really.
What's that book back there, War Stat? What's that about?
I don't know.
I was going to ask you that the other day. What is that, like a backdrop, or is that for real?
Which one?
War Stat over there next to Top Dog.
Oh, that's War States.
I can't see the E.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's actually a football book.
Okay, yeah, I didn't.
Southeastern Conference football.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. No, I can only it's not that I can't read. I can't see the E. I can only see the.
I'll clear it up and I'll make sure to take inventory next time.
Now I know. I'm always looking for good new books. So, all right, go ahead. Ask your question. I'm sorry.
Anyway, the double was impressive with those two guys obviously working together a lot, and then the Andrew Garcia factor. I think he, for me at least, seemed to fill the role that I expected for PJ Horn, realizing that it doesn't always go the way you expect.
Well, it's both. PJ is a phenomenal shooter, and Andrew's getting better as a shooter. Andrew made 25 threes last year at Stony Brook. PJ made 45, and we need them to at least double those numbers for us this year. But I think what I'm learning when you got grad transfers like this is, as much as we want them to learn how we want to play, right, and the things that we want to do and keep building their skill sets, which I think if you asked any of the three of them, they would probably tell you that they know they're getting better. They know they're getting pushed in different areas to have different skills that they may not have worked on in the past. But I think the most important thing is, and I think Andrew showed this, let them play the way they're most comfortable playing. They had 22, 23 years of life before they got here with us, right? And how they learned to play the game. So we're trying I thought Andrew did a great job of just playing to his strengths, playing the way he's built to play, but he also knows every day we're working to stretch his game. And I think that's what we've got to do with Justin, PJ, Ty McMillan to a degree, and certainly with Andrew.
Thank you.
Hey, Coach, kind of sticking with sort of on Andrew Garcia. It seemed like when things were going rough a little bit toward the end of the first half, he scored, I think, 6 or 7 points in a row. Ty Fagan had some big buckets, to halt some Florida A&M runs. Veteran leadership from guys like that, I guess, how important was that tonight, and how important is that going to be for older guys like that as the season goes along?
Well, it's going to be very important. But see, I've said this so many times, and this is a definition of it. I always say the game is always giving you something, right? And today, Ty Fagan and Andrew Garcia figured out what the game was giving them. And we knew that they were going to get extended in their zone. All right, we worked hard yesterday and reviewed it this morning on how much we wanted to attack their zone press. And we didn't do a great job of that. It stagnated us a little bit. But when the ball is moving and you're cutting or you're going into a post up like Andrew, or you're on the glass, we're a big corner team, right? We don't just want to live in the corner for shooting threes. We want to live in the corner for getting drop-offs and for cutting. And we'll drive out of the corners, right? We're trying to use every bit of the half court. We're trying to use the full court. Ty Fagan did a really good job of that today. And I said this on the radio show last night. The last film we showed him was our cutting tape, and there's probably 25 clips in there. And at one point I said in the tape, I said, this is basically the Ty Fagan clinic video, all right, on how to move without the basketball. Anthony was in it. He learned so much about moving without the ball last year. Jordan Harris, Tumani, Ray Sean making passes. It's all last year stuff, right? Severe finding people, Jordan Harris, Christian Brown. But at the end of the day, Ty Fagan dominates the film because he does a great job of moving without that basketball. So tonight, when everybody looks at it and say, oh, wow, Ty Fagan had 21, that stands out. It's how he got them. And it's how he didn't need things done for him, because we're not a let's just go call the play for a guy type of team. Sometimes out of timeouts we will. But the majority of it is we want 5 people moving. And with a kid like Severe in the game and Michael Starks and Jaquan, as they get better at this, it's going to make it that much easier.
Okay, and for the last question, we're going to have another question from Anthony Dasher.
Coach, just want to ask about KD Johnson real quick. Obviously, he didn't play today. Kind of what's going on with him?
KD right now, here's what we have with KD Johnson. He did not play because we're dealing with some NCAA certification issues academically. He's been involved in every basketball related activity since he arrived on campus. So it's none of that. He's with us in practice, workouts. He is probably not only do I look at him as one of the best freshmen in the league, he is our most competitive guy. And we got some competitors, but he is our most competitive guy. And right now we're working with our compliance staff and Will Lawler and Steve Flippin to revisit his eligibility status with the NCAA, and we remain hopeful that he'll be able to play this season. So it's not an amateurism issue. It's a certification eligibility issue that we're working with. And the most important thing he can do is control what he can control, just like everybody else. And I appreciate his attitude. He's worked very, very hard in this. And if he was able to play, you'd see him from the beginning, or you'd see him real early, because he is one competitive. He changes the energy of our practices many, many times with his competitive level. And frankly, it was a little different for everybody not having him out there today too. And we're just going to have to get used to it. But at the same time, we're working with compliance, and we're going to see how it turns out.
All right. Thanks so much, Coach.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.